Risk of loss is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Warning. So I've changed up my workspace a little bit. Oh, I need the video capture. Nice, what's going on here? There we go. So I've changed it up a little bit. I hope you guys can still see the numbers. If you can't, let me know, but I wanted to add back in the stacking and pulling column. Just to watch it and see if I can see certain things. Well, here we are starting the session at the low of the day. And we're pushing some of these 080 yesterday. Capital L so I can see it. There we go. Here we're pushing the lows of the day. In the E-mini, we appear to be recovering a little bit. I mean, Friday was a real doozy. End of the week liquidation, not necessarily a positive thing. So we're gonna see if they do it or not. I guess there's a lot of questions up in there, right? So and where is my, oh, here it is. Okay, so I can make lines now. Show you. Do this. Yay. Oh, except for that's not what I want. I want a highlighter one. You can't do the line and the highlighter, that sucks. I'm gonna get text too, so it's worth it. Anyways, grab the links. Okay. So there they took a pretty good tumble right there. Notice the 08 is pulling. Okay. See, I'm seeing these numbers add up down here. See that? Still 57. Now they're in there. Okay, that getting above 6. Well, I don't think that one's gonna work. See, the reason why I took that off was because when we ticked up, some of the guys up here pulled. These are pulling and these are stacking. See that? And now these are stacking up. That's pulling. Not a lot is traded there at 09. I should probably just sit and watch this for a little bit. And like, I really want to like click in there, but like, I'm noticing a lot of things I haven't noticed before, and it's a little bit of an overload. I probably need to watch this for a little bit to figure out where these matter and where they don't. But that's been 5 for a while, so But notice this is now 66. I don't know if that's correct. This is now almost 7. But I find it interesting that it takes us, we get a tick up and now it starts happening. See, stacking, pulling. Good morning, everybody. Couple in the stream today. We do have pending home sales at 8 o'clock. But this is a, we get some inflation information this week, don't we? We get ISM. Tomorrow we get personal spending. That's really, really important. Oh, we do core PCE. Well, I think if I had put like a buy order in there, I don't think I would have gotten filled. It's getting hot in here. That tick down is very interesting. Like we've got a note here. You would think that it would be easy for them to trade 110, 10 and a half, go back and forth and everything. And they didn't. They just ticked down. It's kind of weird to me. So it may have just pivoted. And they are stacking here at 10 and a half now. Like quite a bit. This is probably going to get over 5. kind of thinking, like, I don't like looking at the bottom of my screen. I would prefer it to be in the center, or maybe even at the top. Or maybe I will switch these things around or something. Okay, well this 09.5 is stacked a little bit. And look at pull. Now that's higher. And some at 09 are leaving. Now the 10.5 is over 5. There's 13 at that 13. That's, I think, going to be important. Let's see what that does. Get some highlighting here. No, not like that. I want the bigger one. This right here. And this. Okay. So I stopped into it and there's an iceberg, so that's not good. And that is less. So today is turning into Iceberg City, because we've just got an iceberg all over the place down here. Look at that delta overall is very negative. Yeah, let's see. Not kind of a market where I can train stop into something like that, I think. I guess this cumulative delta probably doesn't even matter so much anyways, like it's not that significant of a move. So there's a downtick down to 32 at 0.95. I'm still not seeing my 10 half over 5 though. I would like to see my 10 half over 5. Like to see like a rush of sell volume into 0.9 half and at 10 half to stack over 5, I think. Okay. 47. I should have noticed earlier that the bids are more than the offers, generally speaking. Because you're not getting any stacking above us, which I think is really bizarre if we're going to be buying up and they're not putting up targets. I think that's weird. But then you've got a bit of you got a bit of liquidity underneath of us from when we came up. Now this 090 should be interesting to see what that does, because right now that's almost 6. Okay, our 10 half is now getting close to that 5,000 we want. Part of what just happened there was just the 5-year ticking down. Yes, that's what's flipping it in the 10-year. So it's the uptick and downtick of the 5-year. Although the 5-year really looks like it's turning around. To me, it looks like it's turning around. Okay, finally got the downtick we needed. So that was a really poor entry. Let's just put that out there. Even if this works, that I think was a poor entry. But definitely could have gotten 10. Okay, and now that 10.5 is over 5. And the 09 is at 44. So about 1,000 pulled off of 09. Not necessarily unusual. This 10 already to 47 I think is interesting. Like stacking at 09.5 too. I get. Well, I'm not seeing the 5-year tick down. It should. They should be able to be taking this at 02. They ticked up there. Okay, about 1,000 pulled that time. That last uptick was certainly a lot more, felt a lot more aggressive, especially in the 5-year. Them kind of looking at taking another step higher, though the 30-year is not really coming along with it, is it? These are all stacked up to 5, and these never quite. 2 prices got over 5. Now when that happened, they stacked at 10. I think my mistake has been not watching this. Like, I saw that potential pivot, but they never flipped. Never flipped, so. And there was this right here or was it 08 half did stack over 6 for a bit when we came down. So when it came down and ticked, we should have broken even. That was just a bad trade on both sides, wasn't it? Okay. It seems real stuck, doesn't it? Time for Monday Madness. Yeah. What platform do you use? The platform is called Jigsaw. JigsawTrading.com. If you decide to buy it, let me know. I can give you a referral and we can both get a small discount. So, oh, how's Bitcoin looking? I hadn't even looked at it. So there was a little bit of a sell. Now, when did that happen? That must have been after I looked at it yesterday. I'll look at the chart of GDAX. Yeah. Yeah, that's just the so what happened was people decided that the ETF wasn't one of the ETFs got canceled and somebody sold and then somebody bought it back up. Oh, wow, that's actually really weird. So the futures are like not in line with GDAX at all. Like my crypto watch is saying GDAX is at 81.39 and Bitcoin futures are 78.45. So we're getting some divergences here. Not quite sure what to think about that, but see, the weird thing about this column right here, this is supposed to be stacking and pulling, right? And this is saying that as we moved down, we stacked and the bids pulled. But then when you look at this particular price right here, they, particularly right there, they were stepping up to get it. Now, it might not matter. This is not the same story in the 5-year, is it? In the 5-year, here's where they stepped up. Right there. And in the 5-year, it could flip either way very quickly. So if the 5-year decides that that's the way it wants to go, and it's in the middle of a range, and it's really hard for me to say. But if the 5-year does decide that it's gonna go down, you might get a little bit of a collapse here in the 10 and the 30. Hmm. That pulled all the way to 10 at one point. Oh, you know what? I think we should put volume on this. Yeah. I think that really helps. Okay. So now you can see there was pulling, buying. So it was almost like this one was a lure to trap us. And that was where it went down, and I thought, oh, I should have taken a break even. So I missed that. And on the same side here in ZF, they came up, but they didn't like sell it strongly or anything. It just didn't go. They just weren't able to make it up. But there does appear to be a vacuum underneath of us. Honestly, all it might take to make this column flip around is to have is to sell through 09.5. Oops. Need to remember to switch that back to auto. Well, it wouldn't have gotten filled. Just seems like it's just barely on the edge of this whole thing, like flipping over. Okay, so the ZB took the step down. Oh, that sucks. I think we're going to see selling at 09 and stacking at 10. Let's see. These sells have been much, much more aggressive than any of the buying up through here. I mean, look at the delta. Okay. So did we see it stack? Well, we saw it stack at 09.5 considerably. Not here at 10. 10 still hasn't gotten over 5, but that went up to 47 real awfully quick. Here I can see it's about to change. Now this 08 is getting a little bit I'm a little concerned the 5-year is not stacking enough on its downtick there. Okay, that's a little better. We need to look, what are, oh, that's right, we don't have much below us, do we? Well, so 065, 040, and 03. I think 03.5 was like the low of the year. Well, it's not too far. They might go for it. Okay, so there's the new low. They might not be able to get it through here. Bids remain more, okay. Now that's the 7K at 08. Sure is a lot. They could go through it though. There's too much stacking at 08 here. Now that 09 one doesn't make sense. The 08, 09 was like the open. So you might get a situation where they're not able to get through there. Okay, so that would have been the buy. Oops. I really need to figure out how to deal with that. I guess I could buy 09 half, but jeez. That would be 3 ticks of risk, but... So this weekend I did some replay trading and had this idea to trade like a market maker carrying tidbits and offers on either side of the market for a day. That shift was interestingly fun. Yeah, I bet. Interesting. Well, I always try and look at it from like anything that I see, I try and come up with theories for what kind of trading thought process could be behind that, you know? And when I was coming down here to 08, that and it stacked to 7, that kind of seemed to me like there was some people that had gone short there and they were looking to take it off at 08 because that was where the big volume thing was and they weren't sure if it was going to go below that. And when it gets to 7, that's the point where it's like it becomes really questionable if they're going to be able to get through it. At least right now, this month, it seems like that's the price. $115 is where I want to see it go to. I was bored, cut me a break. Well, did you actually use your real account to test it with that? So I've never seen this online, but I seem to recall there being something of a there's some math that you can do where, you know, if you always have a bid here and an offer here, there's a certain way to figure out if you're profitable because you don't want it to just go through you, right? Unless, of course, you're already short and then both's just taking off here. Oh, and you were doing the replay connection. I get you. Well, now that 08 half is at 64 as well, it's just, there's just some really big support underneath of us. And now you're starting to see that support build up in the 5-year as well. I wish I had bought the 08 half when I saw. I'm starting to see that one. That seems like that could be a reliable reversal signal. And it would have been good for at least 2 ticks. We'll see if it goes more. See if this 09 gets filled. I would say in our best scenario that doesn't. That's stacking at 08 half. This is also stacking here when you see a tick. So when that volume came in, I'm not seeing some of the odd behavior that you see down here sometimes. 5 years worried that it can't do it. Okay. A little concerned about the 30-year. Okay. Looks awfully close right now, guys. The 5-year to me, or sorry, the 10-year still looks to me like it's gonna hold there at 08. But the other two don't look like that. And I do see some targets being added to down here, like at 06. And the buyers sure are stacking it. We got the E-mini about to come out. That's not good. Now they're trying it to see the other way. A bit more went through. 1583 went through. Okay. Now a lot of absorption there at 08.5. See it, the way it's stacking on the upticks there at 08. And these and at above us are still having a hard time staying above 5. The 5-year looks like it could buy now, with them holding at 15 or a 1/2. That looks like a really good, you know, higher low from the 01. They can hold it and get some buying up in here. The 30-year needs to let up. A real battle at 08.5. The ES opens. Buying in the E-mini at the start, for sure. The 5-year took a step down and buyers are coming in and trying to hold it, and I'm not seeing, they seem to be having a hard time. Okay, that uptick was a little bit more significant. Now it's 85. Okay. So that was briefly over 1,000, and a few orders went through. Okay. So there the 5-year ticked up. 10-year level 2 reacted, but it hasn't resulted in orders. The 30-year is still kind of scared. Okay, so there they finally, I think I'll pull this. The E-mini is getting killed. Question though is, do we get what we had last time where they just decide that that's all they're gonna do and it just magically stops there? This time there's indications of much more buying. Like you can really see the cumulative delta possibly turning around. Kind of in a critical area in the 5-year, like that's where it might turn around. If it was going to make a lower high at 022, it must be why they're being a little bit less, like they're not just going right for it. The 30-year did tick up. There's the E-mini kind of holding, coming back a little bit. Profit taking there. And 30 years still not ready to go. 10 kind of flipping back and forth. 5 is looking a little better. I like that we're seeing so much stacking down here and that these are starting to pull a little bit. 300 is okay. Okay, flipped in the 5. Not in the 30 yet. Okay, now in the 30. And not quite able to hold it. Playing games. That looks a little better. It's looking a lot better in the 30. E-mini, not sure. Looks like they went down and touched this 2015 but didn't go through it. Sure looks like they've got the fuel, like they're just sitting there right on the edge. But then you got the VWAP to contend with, so. There you go. Five-year looking a little better now. Notice that some of these pulled off below us. I think those were some robots with some targets maybe gave up. That's my theory. Okay, so that downtick was bad, but they caught it in the 10-year. And the 5-year is not look even close to like it's going to be ticking down. And that one really curious though. Okay, there was sell volume in the 30-year. The 5-year is the one that I find. Okay, they might flip. Yeah, they flipped in level 2. Okay, so the cumulative delta is showing us that kind of flat, but the 30-year just is continues to sell. You may get a bottomly set up here in the 30-year, and then maybe the 30-year will start buying. E-mini continues to look negative, but I'm starting to wonder how long that degree of selling can go on for. So the 5-year ticked up, the 10-year has not, the 30-year has not. Okay. So they all ticked up, the 10-year fought it. 5-year is looking like they're going to take the next price too. But the 30 came back. This whole thing is like the reason I'm having the problem that I am is because I chased. I had not chased and I had bought away half, then I would probably be just sitting here just like feeling pretty okay. See, this is starting to get weird. Well, buyers may have finally caught somebody. I'm liking the potential setup here now. They gotta take out that 09. It's a little frustrated because the 10-year refuses to tick up. This will go to 4 and go back to 35. And nobody ever buys. There it is, 43. Yeah, you mean he's turning around. At least temporarily. So then 37. And you can see the stacking here at 08 and the pulling at 095. Though it is 6 at 095, so like it's starting to get a little questionable. Oh, now the 09 has got 4 on it. It's just starting to get really thick now. So another flip. Does buying come in? Ten-year ticks up. Wait, has it? 10 years been there for a while now. I apologize. 10 years been there for a while. And 30, meh. I'm noticing that we're starting to get little spikes in level 2 changes. Something may have just changed. Now this is at 46. Are you kidding me? Are they just going to keep stacking and stacking until one side gives up? So now this is stacking to 5. Okay. I think that the seller might have finally given up there. You see how it's pulled now at 09.5? Well, now you've got two big guys caught short and underwater. Because there was the one at 08.5, right? And there was about 8K that went off at 08.5. And now at 09, about 3 to 4K that went off. And they were trying very, very hard to put a big offer and keep it down at 09. Eventually the bid stacked to 6, and that's when they decided to finally back off and they ticked up. Okay, so there's a 1. So we've got a lot of volume to come off here. As long as I continue to see this bid pressure here on the upticks, I think you just keep it. And look at the bid at 09 is already almost to 6. Okay. So that time they did not stack so much. you get this 10.5 was where the last pivot was. That's probably why. You get 10.5 and then 11.5. Yep, so bid continues to push. Oh, there you go. Now this 09 was 6 at one point and it's not anymore, so that's one thing I think we gotta watch. I still see more in the 10 at least. The 30 I think might be about equal. Well, hard to say in the 10, in the 30 rather. In the 5, we've still got some buying all the way up to 037. In fact, so the bid absorbed there at 10. And 30 looks like it still wants to go. 5 looks like it still wants to go. And it's not. It's stacking. Also, 10 is a balanced price. So when I bought, I said, well, I'm below. Really wasn't the right risk location, was it? But now that I have it, it's like, oh, okay, on this side it's good. I really thought that we were going to come up through here, you know, like a really long time ago. And in fact, I'm quite surprised that they're not holding a bid there. Really? Okay, well, the 5, they finally took one, and the 5. that shouldn't happen. Pulling at 09.5. That might be a lure. Except for that these ones are matching it. Okay. Okay. Well, now I've got a situation where if I do get this 10 filled, I think it might go through me. Nope. Yeah. And this sucks because this could go south on us really quickly, huh? If this 5 decides to not go. Or rather, if the 5 decides that they want to go for the lows again. At the moment, the E-mini just does not look like it's really catching a bid. Okay. Okay. Wasn't the only one that pulled at 10. Five, not quite ready to go.
Block by.
Okay. Where was that at? We have to look. At 10. He was at 10. Okay. Well, now we have made a higher low and a higher high. And Tyler bought at 10. We're a tick above him. 5 years still looks unbalanced. I think I can hold this. Yeah, okay. So when it ticks like that, you keep it. Nope. Okay. So I just wanted to see the bid subside. That time they flushed through it, and now this bid is weak. That's where we gotta be thinking about potentially taking a profit. It might not give us the 11. The 11 was a pivot from before too. I think eventually we pushed through it, just maybe not this time. And you see them stacking it at 11.5. Or rather, I'm seeing, so that's 23.30 there, and it's 2 ticks away. I think that's really significant. Wonder when that showed up. We're 37th in line. Jeez. Yes. Okay. I was in that for almost 50 minutes. Yeah, you see it still going there. So if I had not taken it off, I could potentially be looking at an iceberg just having failed at 110 and still be trying to get filled at 11. Sorry, the iceberg failed at 11, still be trying to get filled at 11. And like I said, there was some stacking there at 11.5. That concerns me. So this could be a potential stopping point. We'll sit and watch this, but that was really good. Or that's 5 ticks. Let's take that for today and consider ourselves so lucky that some of our more foolish decisions from earlier didn't come in and just completely annihilate us. As I had, 2 there, And it never went through my risk, so it was legitimate. But man, that could have been really bad. If I mean, they could have gone through us for all we know. I just see this right here. That's the only reason. And then you see it right here. Boom, boom, boom. Every time they came down to that level, they just stacked. Yeah, you kind of saw it in the 32. Here, this wasn't, this right here was not so. I mean, could use magenta. That right there concerned me. Then you also see the yellow right here. That was good. That was good. And the other ones, I gotta say, and let me show you my 5-year chart again. So this is cumulative delta difference. We don't get to selling delta. That is a point to where we sold more to like way up here, see? In other words, are in the way, but like way up here. So there's a little bit of imbalance. That's why I'm thinking, okay, you know, it's probably gonna come back a little bit. So it did come back, and now there's zippering through here. See if we could have gotten filled at 11.5. I think that was definitely the exit. Let's see if it takes another leg, because the 5-year still has some ways to go. Okay, well, no, wait, I took it off at 11, right? Yeah, I did. We're looking for, let's reset it. Let's reset it and highlight this price right here. Ugh. I'm mostly just recording it as a log. There's a good number of people listening though. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. I see Uzi's kind of said a couple of things. Kind of puts into perspective the market maker's role of always being in the market, right? They're basically averaging into positions on one side of the market or the other and bailing when there's enough on the other side for them to liquidate into. Mess around with it when you have some free time. Oh, right. I had to hook up the replay connection. Stack limits on either side of the market and try managing it after whichever side gets filled. For the record, not a market dynamic insight exercise for the hell of it, not a trading strategy for us. Hey Rackley, so what do you think about the Bitcoins today? Because, you know, let's talk about that. Let me pull this up and I'll show you what I'm seeing again. So here's GDAX, right? GDAX still says that it's 81.30. Okay. Let's look at all BTC markets. So they're all above 8. They're all above 8. Yes, they're all above 8, but the oh yeah, by the way, Wills, I should give you the regular roll, and that way you can post pictures. Okay, so they did take out 11.5 right there. And then just blow through it. Like that's one where I think he probably could have guessed that it's going to go through, but I've been screwed enough on that one enough times that I think it's better to just take the profit even if it does keep going. And really, the 5 years almost to the spot, so because that would have been my other option, right? So keep it until the 5 year looked balanced. So what was I saying? The Bitcoin on the futures is below 8. They're trading at a significant discount to the cash exchanges. What's with that? It's never done that before. Never done that before. Let's point that out in this thing here. It's like the future guys in the futures went short and they're keeping it on. Are they going to we're gonna see like they'll dump on the other everywhere else and collect? Yeah, I think that's what it means. That's why I'm a little concerned about it. Well, I'm not in Bitcoin, but you know, if you're in Bitcoin, I would be concerned. Well, bonds have made a move, but the E-mini has not quite really responded to it so much. The way that whole thing happened too was a little crazy. Like you could have gotten filled at 12, but now we're still looking at maybe you get filled at 15. You could potentially buy there. I mean, the bids are stacking. It's a little bit questionable here because where's your risk going to be? You know, like if it fails 110, I guess there's that, but there's a good chance that you trade all the way through that. So I don't see any reason why I would stop there. Right? You want to have a spot where like here's your risk. So people say, you know, you want to know, like that's a spot where you're wrong. Well, I know that if I took a long here and they got to 10, that I'm wrong. But really, don't you know before then? And really, like you want your risk to be in a spot that you really don't think is going to trade. And I think that if they tick down to 11 or 11, 10 half, they could trade all the way back to 09, frankly. Well, they would have to do 0.95. So my risk would have to really be there. And that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ticks of risk. No thanks. Well, let's post charts. Patreon charts. Find a nice rig renting site makes me approximately 3 times as much as nice hash if you rent it out for 24 hours a day. No one is renting your rig, it auto connects to a pool you want. Yeah, so I looked at the renting stuff at one point, and my conclusion was that generally speaking, it wasn't worth it. like that you would be better off just taking that money and buying the coins directly or buying your own mining rig. And basically what they did was they would have like their mining hardware, mining rig rentals. Like the way the business case for this, I think, is you got like a bunch of miners and then you get a bunch of better miners. So you switch them over. So now you want to have the better miners going, and that pays for your electricity. But you want to still keep the old miners going too. How do you pay for the electricity? You get other people to come in and rent the space for you. And then you just take the little off the top when they're not using it or whatever it is. And that pays for the extra electricity. So that's why it's like you might as well just buy your own hardware. That, unless you just don't have a whole lot to put in, right? Like less than 1,000 and you can't buy a rig. That was my conclusion when I did it, but I could be wrong. My family is still like dead asleep. I haven't heard a peep from anybody, not even the birds. Wake up, Patreon. Okay. Well, it was kind of like almost exactly what I thought. They got to 03 half. They came one tick short of 037. They might still go up and catch it, but here at 11 and a half is about where they balanced at. So there was maybe another tick in that for me, but I think that was still really good. First blockchain that I know of that makes crypto actually usable in the real world. Pay what you want, even Visa, and the other person receives in whatever currency he wants. That's kind of weird. Yeah, they're going to need more things like that because the problem that I see right now is that people just aren't using Bitcoin. Like after that, December issue, so many retailers and users of Bitcoin gave up on it because they couldn't get confirmations and it was too expensive to use. And now all I see is speculators. And you got to remember that my underlying theory is that the only reason Bitcoin has value is because people use it. If people aren't using it, it's not worth anything. It's just a speculation, which is a bubble that is going to inevitably fall apart. Anyways, well, I think I might keep the columns on here, the stacking it, or what is it called? What does Jigsaw call it? The snapshot. Yes, that's right. The snapshot columns. I think I'm going to keep those. I have them set to be like 100 in this one, and I think that's done a good job. I think that when I used the snapshot before, that you're always seeing like teeny tiny little changes, and so I kind of started to ignore them. But now I'm starting to see, oh, okay, here's something happening at this price and it's significant and it's 2 prices out or whatever it is, right? They're stacking at 12. So I knew that there was a potential that it was going to stop here. That's why I took it off. It was the same down at the bottom. I was able to read that down at the bottom because I could continue to see that 08 and 08 half stacking. So I made a call that was very, very difficult, especially since I FOMO'd into it. And did not get the 09 was really where I should have taken it. But I made the right call because of that stacking and pulling, and also because of Keith yesterday. Although I did not see, I'd be interested. You don't have to post it in the channel, but maybe PM me later, Keith. Did you take that same trade? Because I was watching it on replay the other day, and there was some interesting things about that particular one that reversed like at the very end before I stopped recording, like when it was a buy. That I saw something when that was happening that I did not see today. So I'm interested if you still took it. If you still just took the same trade that I did, essentially. Buying 08 half 09. If he's listening, I think he is listening. And I hope everything going well for you guys in voice too. I think it's been too distracting, and I think that I was a lot more focused today. So, I feel like it would have been really hard to keep that if there was other people talking in my ear and possibly going short and stuff. So, I think it's good to just filter everything else out for now until I have this so ingrained as a habit into me that we're good, right? Buying has definitely subsided here too. Like they might turn around. Actually, it looks like they're already turning around. Okay, well, is there anything else before I go? Just wait a few seconds here. Notes are up. we look at these? No, we didn't look at these. I wish that I could put my notes in this instead of having to go to Journaltics, but this one was really poor execution. I normally wouldn't have 2 contracts on and everything, but I kind of saw that there was a possibility of getting filled there and everything, and that was 2 ticks. 3 ticks risk. Anyways, it wasn't a very good trade. Is really all I can say. And these cells were not too bright either. Too much of a FOMO. Could have taken them earlier. Like at 620. Like I could have sold 10.5. But I was selling like 9. So it was like way too late on these shorts. So that's what we gotta work on tomorrow. All right. Oh, okay. I guess that's it. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow.